Week. What happened? Who was great and who wasn't? The plays, the errors. It all comes to life on the Pennant Chase. See the Pennant Chase here on Prime Ticket, Fridays and Mondays, all summer long.
Oh, a great left hand to the jaw of Wilson. And a great left hand to the jaw of Locke. Taylor's trying to use all the savvy that he's through all these bouts, and he is in great trouble. Taylor can't stop it. And they're stopped the fight.
Withstood the attack, and hard right by Hassan. Hard right. Grant is in deep trouble. Grant is up against the ropes and about to go down.
Friday night, it's quarterfinal round coverage of the always competitive U.S. Championships from Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. It's clay court craftsmanship at its finest. So check out who makes it to the Final Four of the U.S. Pro Championships Friday.
Welcome back to some special action here at the Forum. Stubby's High School Volleyball Classic. The top two teams in high school volleyball, Palisades, here ahead in game number 2, 7-4. Pacific Palisades had some great teams in the past, Chris. Lots of great alumni come out of that program. Oh, who is this? 1968 Palisades High School. Some great names. Dave DeGroot, Bob Leonard, Kelly Broom. The coach, Howard Enstedt, way up there in the corner. Randy Stevenson, Milo Beacons, Larry Irvin. And who are we getting a tight shot of here? Dick Irvin, Dave Beck, Wayne Gracie. And who's that? Chris Marlowe. Couldn't jump in 1968, couldn't jump in 1984, but he could always talk. That's why he's next to me in the broadcast booth.
I have to tell you, how could Howard forget this team, the greatest high school team ever assembled? 8 of those players went on to play major college. I have to remind Howard about that. And I think I'm pretty objective when it comes to something.
Yeah, very objective, very objective.
That was a fun team. Talk about a confident team. You should have seen Dick Irvin.
Oh, my goodness.
So we have a substitution coming in for Loyola. We're in game 2. Palisades 7, Loyola 4. And for Loyola, number 16, Brett Banikowski. Shanked off right side, Unger, and Unger is stuck. Boy, does Loyola love it when they stuff Unger.
Well, what goes around comes around, and Unger has been talking an awful lot, not only on the court, but to the spectators.
Loyola won game 1, 15-13. Palisades leading here in game 2, the Stubbies High School Championship, played at the fabulous Forum. What more of a thrill could you have as a high school youngster coming into the house that Jack Kent Cook built and Magic redecorated?
Very nice set that time. Excuse me, Chris. Great set that time out to David Martin.
This is Palisades. They're wearing the navy trunks, in case you're wondering, and white shirts. And up, that was Corey Hull, and Gary Kohlberg is going to say Palisades doesn't like it. Gary Kohlberg saying that ball was down, and Hull saying, hey, I got under that.
I think he made a good save, Chris. Here we're going to get another look. He's got that ball up. Gary Kohlberg shielded between the player's body and the ball. Just guessed really that time.
Good point, Paul. Garrett over the top. So tall Paul Garrett slamming one down.
7 kills for Paul. Also 4 or 5 stuff blocks, playing extremely well.
So back to serve Matt Unger. He will put the ball in play. There's some question about the substitution. Howard Enstedt, 56 years old, the coach, the only volleyball coach Palisades has ever had, and he's really been responsible for integrating high school volleyball in the Southern California area. Ryan Jamison with the slam down, and Loyola fans whooping it up. Think that fella's been on TV before, Paul?
Well, he is now.
Take it from the end zone, see? A long jump serve just out of the way just a bit.
David Martin putting the ball in play for Pacific Palisades. Back set. Ball's hit long. Bill Bergstrom from Loyola just hitting the ball long. Down the line. Point to Pacific Palisades. They lead now, as you can see, 8-5.
3-point lead for the Dolphs against the Cubs. Into the middle, Jamison, a nice little tap. Unger rips it. Blackman, big block. It's still going. Oh, that's legal. And Palisades is confused, discombobulated. And Loyola a play. The Dolphins thought they had it. They were already walking back for the high fives, Paul.
Well, a little. Here you see the ball, total confusion on the part of Pacific Palisades. Look at Loyola whooping it up. Their best spiker, Blackman, had been stuffed. The ball ping-pongs back and forth. They keep the ball in play. Palisades doesn't at all react well.
8-5. Palisades still leads, but that would have made it 9-5. Can't give Loyola undefeated a record of 20-0. Suarez pokes it deep. Nice recovery by Logsdon. Blackman and Garrett doing some nice blocking up there. The big man is got a tower of Pisa, and Loyola with another one. So Palisades thinking they had some points scored and only to get the ball shoved back by Loyola.
There's a lot on the line here, Chris. Each of these teams holding their particular titles. Bragging rights for maybe the best high school team, Southern California, maybe in the country.
Lots of fun here at the Fabulous Forum. In the front row at the Laker game, that seat would cost you $195 tonight. We got the football team from Loyola and Palisades, and they're whooping it up. They love it. They're whooping it. Down the line, Duncan Blackman. And Paul, make sure you keep those little kids away from me when we start to walk out of here. 8-6. Loyola down by 2. Out of bounds. And so point to Loyola.
Palisades making lots of mistakes here, virtually getting Loyola back in the match.
So timeout on the floor. Game 2 here at the Stubbies High School Championships. Palisades Dolphins with a 1-point lead, 8-7.
I like your new car. Thanks. It's got loads of power and really holds the road. You need all that performance? No, but it's nice to know it's there. You really have to take care of a car like this. A car like this is supposed to take care of you. That's why I bought Michelin's.
Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
If you could ask for a truck that goes wherever you want to go, and you've got the performance answer, Toyota 4x4. Ask for rugged good looks and style and get the bragging rights that go with them. Don't compromise. Don't settle for less than Toyota quality. Now who's looking out for number 1?
Toyota. Welcome back to the Stubbies High School Volleyball Championships. It's Loyola against Palisades. Loyola won the first game. Palisades leading by 1 here in game 2. And Loyola, what a great pass they've had. Some marvelous players have come through their program.
No question about it, Chris. We talked about the history at Palisades. Loyola has had some phenomenal athletes. St. John Smith, great player indoors and on the beach. John Root, Mike Lauderman, Steve Rotman, David Rotman, Robert Chavez, and Parker Blackman. Look at the list of schools. It's the who's who of intercollegiate volleyball. Great history at Pacific Palisades, and the same at the Loyola High School Hall of Fame for volleyball.
A lot of Cubs from the past, beach and indoor, and here we go. Out to the outside, Corey Hull kabooms one down the line. So Hull a little frustrated. He's had some blocks and one of his digs was not recognized as a legal dig. And we're going to have a substitution coming back in, Earl Richmond for the Dolphins. And Richmond, let me see, he'll play in the back row. The serve is up, 1-point lead for Palisades, but Corey Hull off the hand. So Corey Hull getting hot on the outside.
Corey Hull now with 9 kills. Chris, very nice set that time by David Suarez. Got in quickly. Nice soft back set to teammate Corey Hull.
Reed into the net. So Loyola has got some problems now. Palisades into double figures, 10-7. And Suarez will serve. Great pass. Make that a football team Palisades had this year. High-powered offense. Perry Klein to David Suarez. Rocket OB. And was there a touch? Yes. A touch in the corner. Boy, Reed hits the ball real hard for a high school kid.
Very, very hard. Hits a heavy ball. Linesman called a touch that time.
So Blackman will serve. Wants to get into architecture. A very smart kid when he gets up to Stanford. Back set to Hall. He's dug. And down the line by John Anselmo. So Anselmo quietly piling up the kills.
Anselmo having a strong, consistent match, Chris. 9 kills for Loyola.
And Blackman will serve once again. 10-8. Palisades still leads by 2. And Unger gets there. Good play. And it zoomed out of bounds. So Unger went right into the people that are taunting him on the sideline over here.
Had to go into some unfriendly territory going after that ball.
Fans are really up for this ball. I can't get over how enthusiastic is a good word.
It's the only word we can use.
10-9. Loyola coming on now. Loyola won the first game, 15-13. And Blackman's nets. He's got a powerful jump serve. Very good.
Good jump serve, good swing on the outside. I like him very much as a player. Usually you can see why he was chosen the outstanding player in high school volleyball in the CIF section.
Usually when you have a good arm swing as a spiker, you can hit that jump serve. Hall outside. And into the net is Palisades. And Taylor calling net.
Substitution, Chris. Brett Banikowski back into the game. Replacing Drew Timms.
So Banikowski will serve. What a recruiting year his father had this year. The #1 recruiting class. Well, perhaps along with Stanford. Don Shaw's women's team also very good. They're perhaps the 2 best recruiting classes. Outside Martin. Ball is blocked but covered. Good play in the backcourt by Richmond to keep it alive. Jameson, and it seems like Loyola set Jameson just a little low. He's so tall.
6'8", you got to jack it up there. He's the same height as Craig Buck virtually, and you can see how high Craig hits the ball above the net.
Substitution for Palisades coming into the match. Greg Orselli in the back line and tall Paul Garrett into the front line. So Orselli, first appearance for Greg, 5'11" junior. He'll be back next year.
Touch on the block, Chris. Side out goes over to Loyola. Anselmo again, that time from the left side, just using the block. Chris Reed back to serve for Loyola.
Off the hands, out of bounds. So Loyola has tied it up at 10, and the fans loving it. At least the Loyola fans. 10-10 in game 2. Another substitution. Going out is Martin, and coming in Marco Franciosa, 6'3" junior. And Franciosa will play in the front line. Back set, Unger with the blast, and oh, they got it up, but it's not going to come over.
Loyola had a chance, a couple of nice defensive attempts, the last by Blackman, and then Banikowski chasing it down, couldn't quite get the ball back in play.
Unger will serve, the score tied at 10.
That's tight to the net. Ball dinked out of bounds, Chris. Number 14, Anselmo, making a rare error. He's had a very solid match tonight. Ball set a little too tight, dinked the ball straight out of bounds.
Dolphins up by 1. Unger will serve. Don't forget, this is the best 2 out of 3 game match, so Loyola trying to hold on to their 1-game lead, and down the line, strong spike, Bill Bergstrom. His idol, Andy Fishburne. He's going to George Mason, which also had a very good recruiting year. He's a good little outside hitter. It's unusual to see a kid from California go out to George Mason or Penn State, but that's starting to happen now, isn't it?
That is a surprise.
Into the middle, Garrett, Doug. George Mason is in Virginia, if you're wondering.
just outside Washington, D.C. They had a very, very strong team this year. Biggest upset in collegiate volleyball, defeating the highly rated Penn State team to advance into the Final Four instead of that very highly regarded Penn State team.
And they ended up third nationally. USC won it. Second was Santa Barbara, third George Mason, and fourth Ohio State. No, make that Ball State, excuse me. And cross-court drive by Blackman, so Parker Blackman.
Duncan Blackman now 8 kills.
Obviously, Parker Blackman is his brother already at Stanford.
There'll be a good combination up there next year in Palo Alto.
That's right, Blackman to Blackman. And Phil Logston in to serve. Deep serve, good deep serve. Franciosa handles it easily. And Corey Hall's blocked, but Garrett right there. Unger, they go back to Hall. And Hall into the net. So, tough chance for Corey Hall and Loyola. Ties the score up at 11.
Substitution. Number 7, Scott Kelly coming into the match, replacing Bergstrom. And surprising substitution, tied at 11 all.
Well, Raggiano said he was going to get everyone in, and he's doing that so far. Out to Hall. He goes over left-handed, but did he touch the net? He was under.
Ball set a little too tight to the net. Suarez has got good technique. Sometimes gives it a little bit too much of the dish and not as accurate as he could be.
And Suarez is asking Gary Coburn to wipe off the ball. He's saying it's wet, but really, when the wetness comes, it's usually from your own player's arms. Don't you think? Your teammates' arms on the pass.
That's exactly right. They receive, serve, scramble, or playing defense. That's where the perspiration comes from.
Usually the spitball isn't loaded up by the server. It's by the receiver.
If you got a wet one, Chris, you never toss the ball out.
That's right.
You just grabbed it, oh, this ball's fine, and served it.
Let it roll.
Play.
Good pass, back set. Suarez cross court. So Palisades has gone dead in the water here after leading 10-7. Loyola has come back to take a 1-point advantage, 12-11. And now Garrett will go in the back line, and Zapata will check into the front line. Tony Zapata. Into the middle, ball tapped down by Drew Timms.
Just off the block of Zapata. Get a look at David Suarez, one of the setters for Pacific Palisades.
And in for Loyola, James Kirker, 6-foot senior. Born on Cinco de Mayo, Paul, and he's very proud of it. He put that in his bio.
Put it in his bio. That's exactly right.
He celebrates every year double time. So Kirker is in. We'll see if he can do anything in the back right. Corey Hall blasts off. Chris Reed.
Corey Hall now with 10 kills. Doing a nice job for his team.
He's a terminal hitter, as we've talked about. He puts it away or sometimes makes some errors, but he's got a lot of physical talent. Another substitution by Loyola. Loyola really switching and dicing. Anselmo back in. Out to the outside, Reed. Tipped. It's played up. Good set. And Hall kills it. So a nice set by Suarez. Got real low to the ground. He's pretty low to start off with, but got real low.
And I like the way he moves the ball around. Corey Hall, a hot hitter for him, going straight up. Here you see the play again. The very end of it, Corey Hall ripping the ball cross court. Loyola's into the net. Bergstrom made a nice dig there, but one of his teammates was into the net.
So timeout on the floor, as Palisades and Loyola are tied up at 12. Palisades Dolphins, as we mentioned, 13-4 this year. 4 losses, and Coach Howard Enstead, he started off as a B football coach, and he did that for 20 years. He was the B football coach and the gymnastic coach for 10 years. Then 1974, they decided to make Palisades, or make volleyball, into a sanctioned sport. And in that time, Howard had to make a chance.
Chris, when I went to high school at Notre Dame, just across the hill from the Palisades, we didn't have high school volleyball. Palisades was one of the first schools to start it. We had a look at the Loyola Hall of Fame earlier on. Pacific Palisades, there you see the list, Chris. Outstanding volleyball players. Ricky Ludes, Bob Clem, a name out of the past. Steve Sammons, Ed Becker, Dick Irvin, Dave Saunders. long list: UCLA, San Diego State, Chris Marlowe, Randy Stoklos, Randy Stevenson, Jay Hanseth, Don Shaw, and most recently Kent Steffies. Outstanding, outstanding list, and out of that, several players going on to the national team, Olympics, and Beach Stars.
Tie score at 12 between Loyola and Palisades. Suarez will serve.
Couldn't get any closer here in game 2. Chris tied at 12 all. Crucial serve by Suarez.
Blocked by Palisades, Zapata and Unger.
Big block in the net by Unger.
And Unger's a little fired up now. (13-12). So Palisades with 2 straight stuff blocks.
I was just saying to myself, Chris, Blackman hadn't seen some action in a while. They go to him, and another stuff block on the outside, that time by Corey Hall.
Now game point for the Dolphins. Will they send it into a game 3? Suarez to serve. This seems to be a pretty good blocking line for Palisades, even though Garrett is not in the front line. With the dig, and Zapata with the block. Still going for Loyola. And off Zapata, out of bounds. So Loyola's still alive here in game 2.
Nice rally that time by both teams. Reed doing some good swinging on the outside, and Paul Garrett with a saving dig for Palisades.
Duncan Blackman will serve. Back set. Oh, long. So Loyola, same scenario as game 1.
Just when you think Palisades is going to pull away, Chris, excuse me, Palisades makes a crucial hitting error.
Shank to the right. It's run down, but a free ball. Loyola and Selmo. Suarez will set to Hall. It's low. And a beautiful dig shot by Corey Hall. Smart play by Hall that time. Didn't have much chance to spike.
Not at all, Chris. The ball was set a little too tight. There you see, perfect shot. You see the defensive player for Loyola come into the play way late.
So Hall will serve. Game point on the line for the Dolphins. Back set. Inside Palisades. Chris Reed with the kill.
A uniform adjustment.
What's he got? He's got a little strand tied to him. He gets away finally. And serving for Loyola, Drew Timms. Loyola trailing 14-13. In the middle. Popped up. Outside, and Selmo is roofed. So Zapata coming along, and he'll high-five anyone. They're jumping all over the place.
Zapata really hanging into this match, really fired up after he blocked that ball.
Palisades had the wrong serve at the line. Zapata quickly. Point game. They go to Garrett. He's dug. Perhaps a mistake there by Loyola. And a big block. Was it blocked or was it not?
Into the net, Chris. Garrett just not getting off the net fast enough to take a good approach. Desperately go at Palisades, going in the middle to their big man to put the game away.
Yarasunas with the stuff. 15-13. Loyola won game 1. Now it is 14-13 Palisades. Garrett, a saving spike for Palisades, and once again they will have game point. The 2 best teams in Southern California. The champion of the LA City Palisades, the champion of the city or the CIF 4A. Loyola, 4th game point. Back set. Off the hands. Unger can't get it.
Nice try by Unger. Reed again swinging from the right side.
Loyola doing a good job siding out on game point. as Anselmo will put it in play.
Kill that time by Anselmo, not Reed.
Garrett with the slam dink. And Yerasuna is trying to compete. He's 6'3", and Garrett's 6'9". Garrett able to go right over the top. Palisades once again. Game point number 5. And Howard Enstead going to make a substitution. He's going to take out Zapata and put in Greg Orselli for defensive reasons. Orselli in, Zapata out. Out to the outside.
That's trouble, Chris.
And good left-handed spike. Keep that ball in play. See if they go to Blackman again. Yes. And Duncan Blackman delivers heat cross court.
I tell you, the play before, though, is what really made it. The ball sit way outside the antenna, chops the ball back in left-handed, creates another opportunity for his team, rips the ball cross court.
Substitution for Loyola. Coming in, Jojit Colonel. Outside, Hull, blocked, out of bounds. So Corey Hull hits one off the block out of bounds, and Palisades will make another attempt. Number 6, trying to secure game 2. Can't seem to put it away. Loyola hanging on. Blackman sails it long. Oh, no.
Palisades is into the net, Chris. Here you see a little controversy here. Ball hit cleanly out of bounds, but the Palisades blockers called into the net.
Dolphins thought they had it, but not quite yet. See if we can see it. Ball zooming high and hard.
Here you see the serve reception. Ball going from Reed to the outside to Blackman. Block goes up, whiffles the ball out of bounds. We won't get a shot at the net. Way out of bounds. Could have been the game.
So Loyola will get another chance to tie. We're playing to 15. Must win by 2. Unger to Hall. Beautiful dink shot.
Nice shot. And at the end of it, Hall 42. Their points right to the spot where he's putting the ball down.
So Palisades will make another substitution. Orselli will come out. And Zapata, who's been blocking well lately, puts it in. Tony Zapata. Number 7, game point for Palisades in the middle. And a strong spike by Drew Timms, the quick set.
Palisades has served for this game 7 times. As you said, Chris, Drew Timms coming through with a crucial side out. There you see the serve indication from the coach from Loyola. Area number 1. The service corner, deep cross court.
Into the middle, Zapata. It's legal, kept over. Hall sets Zapata, and Loyola touched the net. Ken Taylor right on the play, and the Dolphins will serve once again. Game point. Palisades can't seem to lock it up. This is number 8.
Good, John, good.
Dolphins needed a stuff.
Come on!
Franciosa pulls it up. And Unger puts it away, and that is the end of game 2. Matt Unger, a little fireball hammering one down, and now we have ourselves a match. 1 game apiece. Your thoughts, Paul?
Took him 8 tries. Pacific Palisades got off to a great start in game 1. Played very well throughout game 2. Finally put it away.
Okay, 1 game apiece for the high school championship of Southern California. Loyola and Palisades. Game 3 coming up.
Decide for yourself. You decide. You know it's up to you. Decide for yourself. No matter what the world may say. Decide for yourself. Gotta live like your way. Decide for yourself.
All right, Mike, I've got a request that I know only Foot Locker can answer. I want the most outrageous, different-looking pair of shoes you have.
You want outrageous?
Yep.
You got outrageous. The Lotto map shoe. This shoe actually has a city map on the heel. Cities from New York all the way to L.A.
That's absolutely perfect. Lotto has Los Angeles to here, goes Wilshire Boulevard all the way to West Hollywood. If you're lost for something unique, get the directions from Foot Locker.
Chris Marlowe and Paul Sunderland with you from the fabulous Forum. Stubby's special exhibition match, high school volleyball. Loyola, the champion of the CIF, going against Palisades, the champion of the city. It's tied 1 game apiece.
2 very close games, Chris. Statistics also close. Loyola leading in kills 51-47. Blocks very close. Palisades 7-5. Digs 24-23 to Palisades. Only 1 ace in the match, and service errors about even.
Palisades getting a little better production, a little more balance that time from Zapata and Hull helping out Garrett, whereas in game 1 it was Blackman, Reed, and Anselmo, the 3 big men.
I thought Hull was very, very good, especially towards the end of that game.
So 1 game.
For all the marbles, Chris. All the bragging rights, going down to the beach tomorrow, talking about who's really the best.
And all these players live in the same general area in the western part of the Los Angeles Pacific Palisades area of California. Santa Monica, Pacific Palisades, West LA. And Roger Llano would like to complete a undefeated season. If he can win this, his team will have to go down as one of the best.
I think that would really stick in the craw of their entire season. Undefeated all year long, wants to get his team going. If this were to be their only defeat, Howard Instead had another great season, won the city championship over Chatsworth. You know, this would be a great victory, a great way to end the year for his young team.
Only 6 schools in city volleyball when Howard Instead started out as the coach. Grant University, Inglewood, St. Monica's, and Santa Monica. Now there are over 130 schools in California that play high school volleyball, sanctioned.
And growing all the time. Boys volleyball, very, very strong in California. Just became sanctioned interscholastically in Illinois. They're starting to play much better in New York and have been strong for quite a while in Pennsylvania.
Look at the Palisades bench, number 13. That was Curtis Stokely, brother of Randy Stokely. He's a reserve, getting better and better as a player. And starting off the match, Ryan Jamison cranks 1 down. And so here we go. Loyola wearing the powder blue trunks, Palisades in the royal blue trunks. Serving for Loyola.
I looked on Kurt Stokely's bio and it said what career goals. It said play on the Pro Beach Tour and make lots of money. I think he learns from his older brother Randy.
That's exactly, Randy, a very good teacher, playing very well. They go to Matt Unger. Unger again, off the hands. Loyola backs at Reed, and Reed hammers 1. So Chris Reed thundering 1 through.
Players enjoying it out here, Chris. Chris Reed with 9 kills. I like him. Played very, very well. Probably hits harder than anybody else out here.
Most likely won't be a lot of substitutions for Loyola in this particular game. I think Roger Llano perhaps clearing his bench, getting everybody in, but this one is one he has to have. Blackman chases it, and Reed trying to throw the chairs out of the way, and he's going, look, get out of the way, telling the subs to clear those.
Got to throw the chair out of the way. That's the first obstacle. People are expendable.
He goes over there, Paul.
Yeah, here you see
No
nice defensive play. Blackman makes the save and then just kind of stands and watches. Look at him pushing Blackman out of the way. Reed thinks he could have gotten to that ball.
And he's yelling at one of his teammates, Chris Underwood, look, when you get out of the way, take your chair with you.
You can't just get up and leave. You got to
take your chair.
Got to take the furniture.
These forum chairs are comfortable too, and Reed is really hot now. He blasts, gets stuffed, and Palisades scores a point. One of the hardest things in high school is riding the pine, Paul Sunderland. These are comfortable. These aren't pine. These are luxurious chairs. Sofa type.
Love to be out there. This is the Forum floor, Chris. This isn't any place, you know, around the Southland to play volleyball. Probably their only chance to get in this fine building.
Just get me out there where magic dribble drives and dishes to Worthy. That's something unusual in high school volleyball. You are allowed to block the serve, or you are not in collegiate and international volleyball anymore.
Caught me by surprise. Before the Olympics, this was a big part of volleyball, blocking serve. They've eliminated it from the rules. Garrett with a big stuffed block. Pacific Palisades takes a 2-1 lead.
And you have to wonder why the Loyola team is trying to challenge Garrett. I think maybe the idea is to move him around a little.
Yeah, I would set quickly to the outside. Garrett now with 6 stuffed blocks, Chris.
Set in the middle again to Jamison. Nice sliding dig by Unger, and scooped out of bounds. So Loyola gets it. 2-1 here in game 3. We're playing the best 2 out of 3 games. Whoever wins this game will be the champ.
There you see total blocks, Chris. Palisades, leading 10-5. Most of those, 6 of those coming from Paul Garrett.
Garrett left hand with the slammer. It's still going. Back set. And a little off speed. Loyola has a chance. Reed to Blackman. And Garrett kabooms one down on the stop. So Garrett just a mountain of a man.
Paul Garrett just taking over at the net now. 6'9", 230 pounds. Nowhere for Blackman to go on that cross-court shot.
2-1, Palisades leads, and Garrett will serve. High school season over about a month ago.
A lot of these players still training, though, together in getting ready for the Junior Olympics that will be held in Colorado this summer, coming up right after the 4th of July.
And a little confusion on the Palisades team as Garrett had a little trouble that ball. And we're going to make a substitution. Howard Instead putting in Earl Richmond. And Garrett takes a rest. So, and we're going to have a substitution for, no, check that. That can't be right. Oh, yes, it is. Richmond for Garrett. And for Loyola, Phil Logston in the match to serve. Zapata with the swing and the miss, but it goes over and down.
You notice Zapata and Garrett both like to throw their left arm in there sometimes. Very unusual technique, but they're having some success.
Serving will be David Suarez. Palisades leading 2-1 here in game 3. Ball blocked by Zapata, played up by Zapata. And Unger zooms one long. No touch detector, and Unger can't believe it.
I thought I heard a touch, Chris. Thought I saw one. Let's take another look. Suarez going outside to Blackman. Very hard to see the touches, even in the replay. Ball just wide. Ball goes over to Loyola.
If it was a micro touch. Tough to detect. Another substitution. Eric Cardenas in. 6'1" senior. In the chance to play some volleyball. This will be his last high school match. In the middle to Zapata, and Zapata drives it off Cardenas. So Cardenas right in the action early, Paul.
Zapata out of the middle. Cardenas not able to make that save. Going to have that quick sub right away again, Chris.
A lot of subbing going on here. Too much, you think, Paul?
Well, it really slows the game down, but you know, at the high school level, you really want to get everybody out there on the court to play. It's the only way they're going to develop.
Corey Hull with the serve, 2-1. Into the middle, Blackman, and Blackman blasts. Duncan Blackman with the hammer. Like to play on the national team one day, and you may be seeing this youngster in 1996, or perhaps the year 2000. Jump serving it up against the Soviets in some faraway place.
What will the tactics and techniques be in the year 2000, Chris? I think there'll be some rule changes. Maybe the court will look a little bit different. The skills are going to stay the same. Players are just going to get bigger. There's Paul Garrett at 6'9", 9 kills, 7 blocks tonight.
Paul Garrett will be the setter.
Yeah, I was just going to say maybe or even a back row sub.
And Loyola will get the side out. And a couple more substitutions. Boy, this really does slow down the game, however. Jamison back in. And Banikowski in.
I should say that in the international and collegiate levels, you're only allowed 1 substitution per position on the court, total for 6. In high school, however, you're allowed 3 substitutions per position.
And that one was a good one, Brett Banikowski with an ace.
Listen to some of the instructions his dad gives him over at UCLA. Come in and serve aces.
Orselli enters for Palisades. Greg Orselli in the back row.
Same shit.
Cross-court spike by Matt Unger.
Nice swing that time by Unger. Really an off play. Play started out poorly with a bad pass. Suarez made the save. Unger caught Loyola by surprise, hitting the ball that hard cross-court.
Take it from the end zone. Unger with the serve. He'll go in and play defense. Outside. Down the line. Unger misses the dig, and he thought he should have had that one. His brother Adam, a backup setter up at UC Santa Barbara. And his brother, like a carbon copy. clone, as Reed has 9 kills. Very effective in game 1, hitting very powerfully. Combination play, and Suarez jams it through.
Suarez with 4 kills. Reed has been quiet, though, for Loyola since the beginning of game 1, and Anselmo taking over the leadership in kills. Anselmo now with 14 kills for Loyola, having a real strong night.
Serving is David Martin. He's only a junior. He'll be back next year. He's got a bright future. And through the hole, nice dig. I think that was Orselli. And Unger can't clear. Score is tied at 2 as Loyola gets possession. And Loyola will go back to serve.
Well, the Unger brothers do look exactly the same.
They do. And they play a lot alike. Both are setters. Both are talkers. Both are screamers. Ace serve. So John Anselmo, a strong candidate for our player of the match. Whipping that jump serve.
There you get a good look at it. Bringing some heat on that. Palisades not able to receive effectively, passing the ball right into the seats.
So Anselmo once again.
Free ball to Loyola, Chris.
Ball blocked and hooked over. Garrett. Ball is dug. They go outside. Blackman. And Blackman cross court. Duncan Blackman likes to hit that cross court shot, doesn't he, Paul?
Well, he looks very patterned to the cross court. 12 kills so far. What Palisades has got to do is move the ball, the block in. Garrett matched up into the cross court angle.
Serving Anselmo. 4-2 Loyola. Just out of bounds. And so back to serve will go Palisades, the Dolphins. Not before a substitution. And Howard Instead going to put in a couple of subs. Earl Richmond coming in. He will serve. And Paul Garrett goes out for a rest. Paul Garrett, a good candidate for our Reebok player of the match. Paul Sunderland and I will be picking that honor. And Duncan Blackman, you got to take that shot away, though, Paul.
No question that he wants to hit the ball cross court from the left side. The Palisades block not in good position at all that time.
Coming into the match, a substitute. Georgette Coronel. It's great at an event like this to have sponsors like Stubbies and Reebok sponsoring high school volleyball and getting the players and keeping the programs going. Outfitting, some nice uniforms here. And the whole event coordinated by Jeannie Buss, the new Wonder Woman of volleyball. I like what she's doing out here.
Jeannie's really done a great job. She started out, of course, being in charge of Forum tennis. And the Forum is the premier building that I've played in anywhere in the world as far as a volleyball athlete. And to have time in, time out, we have a USA Cup coming here annually, other international matches, as well as Team Cup later on here on Prime Ticket.
Ball spiked into the net. Well, what's great about it is the players from foreign lands coming in, the Soviets and the Japanese and the other teams that were here last week. They really love it. I mean, it's a first-class operation. The players are all treated very, very well. Duncan Blackman with the drive, 3-1. 4-3, Loyola over Palisades. Speaking of Forum Volleyball and Jeannie Buss, if you have some ideas about volleyball, you'd like to drop us a comment, you can write to Forum Volleyball, P.O. Box 10, Inglewood, California, 90306. That's P.O. Box 10, 90306 in Inglewood, California. We'd appreciate your comments about our coverage of international volleyball, high school volleyball, collegiate volleyball. Drop us a line.
Unger again off the tape and then over the defense of Loyola. 15 kills. He's having a big night. Been involved in almost every play, either verbally or physically.
Corey Hall will jump one up. Good serve. Low to the net. 4-3 Loyola with the lead. Out to the outside, too tight. Martin forced to keep it in play. And Reed, a good shot through the block. Chris Reed with lots of power on his spike.
He's got 10 kills. Chris, he had 8 of them in the first 2 games, and 6 of those in game 1. So been a little quiet since game 1.
Perhaps they're not setting him quite as much. Blackman with a hard serve. And Zapata with the jam, but he's over. And the ball goes to Loyola, yes.
The ball has to be completely on the side of the opposition. Gary Kohlberg obviously in perfect position to make that call.
Blackman will serve. Ball is dug. Cornell passes it. And Anselmo out of bounds, side out Palisades. So Palisades trailing by 2, and Howard Instead going to make another substitution. His favorite substitution, Paul Garrett back into the front line.
Well, it's 6'9". You're always glad to have this big player in the front row. As we said, going off to Stanford to play some basketball on a scholarship. I wouldn't be surprised to see him on the volleyball court late in the spring.
Reed hammers. Chris Reed. Did he get someone in the backcourt? They were whooping it up, Paul.
Well, he must have. The ball ricocheted off the block, probably caught one of the Palisades defenders standing up in the backcourt.
Gregor Sully into the match for Pally. And coming back in for Loyola is Aris Yarasunas. Yarasunas into the front line. Little dish into Garrett. He lefts it over. Back set. Reed is blocked. Reed is blocked again. So Reed tried to challenge Garrett. And Unger likes that play, and Hill will serve.
Nice play by Garrett that time.
Grabbed it quickly.
Yeah, good lateral movement.
5-3, Loyola with the lead. Game 3. Game score is tied, 1 game apiece, and another cross-court spike, and Garrett can't believe he missed it.
Well, frustrated because he went straight up, Chris. If he would have reached over the net into the angle, he would have stuffed that ball as well.
A very confident Roger Iano, the head coach of the Loyola Cubs, looking on in his 6th year. Perhaps the best team he's ever had. Garrett with the slap shot. So Paul Garrett, he looks like a terrific college prospect. Paul is big, he's pretty agile, hasn't played a lot. He can get only better and better.
And you don't teach 6'9". You mentioned that earlier on. He's going to grow a couple more inches probably. He could easily come out of college at 6'11".
Bill Bergstrom. And cross-court spike pretty powerfully on the right side by Anselmo.
Anselmo again. He and Blackman leading the way for his team. 30 kills between them. Anselmo with 16.
And the match is important, but socializing is too, Paul. Into the net. Serving error.
Garrett back to serve. Right down the middle. Reed going quick in the middle. Enjoying that side out. Aris Yarasunas back to serve. Now we're going to have a substitution again. Number 9, Jojit Coronel into the match to serve as a back row sub.
Inside the block goes Corey Hall.
Hall now clearly leading the way for Palisades in terms of spiking. Chris, 16 kills. Doing a good job out here. Short serve. Tight set, Chris.
Touch, ball, touch. Help.
Wrong dig. Blackman. Cross court. He's dug. Good dig by Martin. Suarez. Unger. Did he get a touch?
Everybody talking for the touch. The linesman's got it clearly. Blackman hitting the ball up the inside hand of the middle blocker.
Unger and Suarez, the 2 little mighty mites on Pally, doing their thing.
Here you see the ball ripped right cross court off the top of the block. There's Jojit Coronel calling the ball out of bounds. He forgot to tell his player up there that you touched that ball.
Suarez with the serve. Palisades trailing by 1. Blackman once again cross court. He's dug. Back set. And cross court slash. And the Dolphins have tied it up.
Very nice back set that time again by Suarez. I like that play.
He's got a little deep dish right behind.
Corey Hall now going to number 17 in the kill column.
5-5 in game 3. This will decide the unofficial high school championship. of Southern California. Ball poked out of bounds.
Not a good set at all, Chris. Bill Bergstrom just setting the ball way too tight to the net.
And Roger Yano forced a call timeout. So the Palisades Dolphins have taken the lead. It's 6-5, and we'll take a break.
For a lot of years, Great Westerns helped folks find the promise of the West. Today, their new brand of banking takes care of checking, savings, loans, insurance, retirement plans, real estate, even stock brokerage. And with over $28 billion in assets, Great Western will be there to help. They have been helping the West grow since it was just a patch of desert.